This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Rule changes. A tense week of protests at Province House sparks new rules for visitors inside the legislature. Pump pain. Halifax gas prices surge as the Middle East conflict triggers hikes. And merger murmurs. Stewiacke residents weigh amalgamation as rising property taxes fuel local debate.
The weekend is here, and we're looking at rising temperatures with showers moving in late Saturday and certainly for Sunday. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. Members of the public are paying close attention to Province House thanks to cuts in the Houston government's budget. The Speaker says there's also increased tension, and as a result, temporary changes have been brought in for visitors to the People's House. Michael Gorman reports.
You're a representative for all of us. We're all African Nova Scotian, and we want you to represent us.
Why won't you allow me then to represent you?
Whether it's been inside the legislature or on the streets outside, people have been coming to Province House this week to share their views on the budget tabled by the government. Today, the Speaker of the House announced visitors will still be permitted in the gallery and on the main level, but no longer on the legislature's second floor.
Well, I changed the specifics to this floor because I want to make sure that we have a safe environment for all MLAs here at the Province House.
Barkhouse says the change was decided following a conversation with House staff. She says it is not directly tied to the interaction the African Nova Scotian Affairs Minister had Thursday with members of the public. Two of the people involved in that exchange say it was important for them to be able to share their concerns directly about the impact of proposed cuts to scholarship programs.
When you feel like you're invested in, not just by your teachers or your faculty, you have people behind you, it makes it much more easier and more comfortable to be able to sit in a classroom.
I just wanted her opinion on how she felt about the cuts. Being our Minister of African Nova Scotian Affairs, she is the person that is speaking for us. And I just wanted a simple, how do you feel about these cuts being made?
The cabinet minister they came to see says she wants people to know she's looking for ways to mitigate the impacts of the cuts.
Sometimes I don't think you have to be out there rah-rah. A lot of the work, a lot of the good work, the important work, the serious work is done behind the scenes.
After 2 weeks of MLAs sitting well into late night hours each day, on Friday they wrapped up while there was still light in the sky. That won't be the case Monday. The government has called hours for 1 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. Michael Gorman, CBC News at Province House.
An update now on a story we brought you yesterday about a shooting in Dartmouth that sent a 23-year-old man to hospital with serious but not life-threatening injuries. Yesterday afternoon, police arrested 5 men near a car that was parked on the side of Burnside Drive. One of the 5 was the man who'd been wounded earlier that day. Police also seized 2 loaded firearms and charged all 5 men with obstruction of justice. Police had said they do not believe the shooting was a random act. They seized a cream-colored luxury sedan from a parking lot on Wright Avenue. There was a bullet hole in the rear window on the driver's side. Rising tensions in the Middle East are hitting home for Halifax drivers. It's been a brutal week at the pumps as supply disruptions caused by the war in Iran have pushed gas prices to skyrocket. The CBC's Vernon Ramasar spoke to drivers today about the spike.
Sticker shock at the pumps for drivers filling their tanks in Halifax. Supply disruptions caused by the conflict in the Middle East are driving the cost of fuel up quickly. The price of gas has jumped close to 15 cents a litre this week alone.
There's like phone bills, rent, medical, and then with the price of gas now, it's going to make it harder to maintain because you're going to either have to work extra shifts or drive less, I guess. Those are the only 2 options.
I'm kind of trying to drive less now because of the price of gas, and I feel like especially what's going on in the world right now, it's probably just going to go up. So I'm definitely trying to take public transit more.
My car is hybrid, but a little bit gas are very high.
Plumber Mike Twyman is concerned about the toll the rising costs will have on the most vulnerable.
Well, for me as a small business owner, it's a serious issue, but for people that are poor, I think it's a big issue. Heating costs and things like that, I think it's a big social issue for sure.
The recent jump in price may be only the beginning. As the conflict drags on, the prices may continue to shoot up.
If we take the assumption that flows from the Gulf stop for 5 weeks, then I think we have to be prepared for significantly higher oil prices.
And the truck drivers may be in for another shock this weekend. The Nova Scotia Energy Board says the interrupter is being invoked on Saturday for diesel to reflect a significant shift in market prices. Vernon Ramisar, CBC News, Halifax.
And Ryan is here for our first look at the weather. So the weekend has arrived and it sounds like temperatures are on the way up.
Yeah, temperatures climbing, Amy. It's going to be warmest Sunday and into next week, but we start that warm up actually overnight. We'll see temperatures rising a few degrees. And then as we work our way into tomorrow, this is what we're looking at. Temperatures in the mid-single digits for the most part. And we're going to be seeing some sunshine early in the morning. Cape Breton, even eastern parts of the mainland. Clouds will build in here throughout the morning. Cloudy from the get-go here in the west and into central areas. Now, tomorrow really won't be overall a wet day. We're going to be seeing some drizzle chances along the coast, fog patches developing, chance for showers into the later parts of the afternoon. But if you're looking for a day to get outside and enjoy what's left of that snowpack, Saturday's going to be your day. Sunday, it's wetter for sure. We're looking at temperatures ranging from 8 to 12 degrees. Good chance for showers throughout the day, fog patches, and that snow will really take a cut on Sunday and will continue to take a cut as we move into next week as well. Yes, this front will come through, but as it does, we're going to be seeing the skies clearing out, so the sunshine will be more involved for Monday and into Tuesday of next week, and our next warm front lifting well to the north, so we're into an even warmer air mass Monday and into Tuesday of next week, when we could be seeing some temps into the teens. We'll talk about that with your full 7-day coming up.
Yeah, quite a switch. All right,
sure.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, Halifax students and counselors say the loss of a free student transit pass is bad for affordability and traffic congestion. The province has cut its share in the program in the new budget. One counselor says the city can't carry it on its own. Haley Ryan has that story.
A new provincial funding cut has hit the brakes on a free transit program for all Halifax junior and senior high school students.
I think it's terrible, honestly.
I wasn't very happy with it at all, to be honest, because I know a lot of people use transit.
I don't know, I feel it's really disappointing because it's a big part of my life, and I feel like it's a basic necessity for a lot of students here at Citadel just to be able to come to school.
The province has cut its $1.2 million share in the program in its new budget. Nova Scotia's education minister says the program was not used enough to justify the expense. In a recent survey, 33.7% of students said they used transit to get to school most of the time, compared to 11.5% before the free pass.
It is a 20% increase in usership. That's what it is.
It's a 200% increase, Minister.
Yes, so sorry, I'm not the best numbers. But
the minister says about half of the province's investment will go to bus passes for low-income families instead. Halifax councillor Sam Austin says the pass was vital for kids' independence and creating a new generation of transit riders.
You want to talk about congestion. If kids can't take the bus, then it's mom and dad driving them in many cases. So there's an immediate congestion issue.
Austin says the city's $600,000 share remains in the municipality's budget.
This was a valuable program that did a lot of good, and I think we're very much here if the province wants to reconsider this. But we can't carry this alone.
Braden McDonald says he uses transit 3 or 4 times a week, sometimes for school, but usually to meet friends, get to his part-time job, or rugby practice. But what happens when the pass is no longer free this September?
I probably wouldn't use it very much. I would have to pay for it to get to work some days, but it should be free, and it's getting expensive, and the prices, they're going to go up.
He's right. This week, councillors decided to raise fares by 25 cents in late September, when tap-to-pay technology arrives. The increase will help cover the cost of 10 new buses to improve the service this fall. Haley Ryan, CBC News, Halifax.
Amherst is pumping the brakes on transit plans during budget deliberations. Councillors have voted to defer establishing a fixed bus route. A feasibility study said it could cost up to $1.5 million to start the service and $300,000 to run it annually. Other capital projects being considered include recreation amenities and the expansion of an industrial park. The town of Amherst is expected to finalize its budget on Monday. Stewiacke residents weighed in on a potential amalgamation this week. While there's been no application to the Utility and Review Board, a petition has been circulated in the community. As the CBC's Luke Ettinger reports, the conversation quickly turns to property taxes.
No one here really wants to amalgamate. They want their taxes done.
You could confuse this Stewiacke amalgamation information session with one on property taxes. The town has yet to start the process to join with another municipality. The conversation prompted by a petition that garnered more than 130 signatures in fall. It asked Stewiacke Council to consider amalgamation in large part to address rising costs.
Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Will it cost us more? Will it save us money? I can't answer those questions.
In Nova Scotia, amalgamation can be launched by the Minister of Municipal Affairs, a vote of council, or a petition signed by 10% of eligible voters. Staff say going forward could mean a stronger tax base to support infrastructure, but warned there could be less local representation. Former councillor Susan Creelman said amalgamation was considered during her 3 terms, but it's complex.
Some type of an ad hoc committee to really take a good hard look at it.
I want the legwork done to understand better than I do now what potential benefits and cons there might be.
Nobody really wants amalgamation. They're just tired of being taxed to death.
Contributing to higher tax bills are rising home prices in the community less than an hour from Halifax. PVSC residential assessments were up about 16% in Stewiacke last year.
Our residents have asked for the information in regards to amalgamation because of our tax rate. The taxes in Nova Scotia are very, very high, so we're not alone. But people just can't afford their taxes anymore.
Glasser says there's no guarantee amalgamation could reduce the tax rate, and if the town were to go ahead with an application to the Utility and Review Board, Stewiacke would have to find a municipality to join. While that hasn't been determined, officials with Colchester were in the room on Thursday. Luke Ettinger, CBC News, Stewiacke.
Dalhousie University is starting a new nursing program with a university in India. The agreement between DAL and the SRM Institute of Science and Technology is a dual degree program. Graduates will receive their diploma from both institutions. Dalhousie says the program was designed to create a pathway for nurses to come to Nova Scotia. The university is aiming to have the program running by the fall. As part of the recent budget cuts, the province is discontinuing the marine debris cleanup program. The fund supports groups removing water debris and promotes recycling and litter reduction in waterways. Angela Riley, founder of Scotian Shores, says she and her team will work with or without pay to keep Nova Scotia waters free of trash. But the lack of funding feels like a gut punch.
Our biggest industry, I'm pretty sure, is fishing. And no matter what, as long as we fish, there is going to be some losses. So there has to be cleanup. So it seems pretty irresponsible, I guess, especially when we're seeing as much garbage as we do.
Riley says her organization will seek sponsors and partners to cover costs. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in the United States is looking at rolling back speed limits on vessels in waters that are home to North Atlantic right whales. A notice this week says the agency wants to reduce what it calls regulatory and economic burdens on the shipping industry. The agency is looking for information about other ways to protect the endangered whales, but environmental groups in the United States and Canada are criticizing the move. There were about 380 North Atlantic right whales left in the world in 2024, and scientists say vessel strikes and fishing gear entanglements are the leading causes of their death. Well, this is a sure sign spring is around the corner. Halifax's Amera Oval is set to close March 15th. But if warmer weather causes ice conditions to deteriorate further, it may close before its final day. The Oval will reopen again this summer for rollerblading, biking, skateboarding, and other summertime events. And there is the South African War Memorial at the Courtyard in Province House. Ryan is up next with his full forecast.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
And Ryan is back with his full weather forecast. Looking at the weekend, of course, as we do, it sounds like Saturday might be the pick.
I think Saturday's the pick if you want to get out and enjoy some of that snow, which is not going to last much really beyond the early to mid next week by the looks of things in most cases. The other big thing that's happening this weekend is, of course, we're springing forward.
That's right.
You know, it used to be like the weather guy's big job to tell everybody, make sure you change the clocks. But what's left to change?
Well, there's the oven,
the microwave,
yeah. Right? You know,
my car. Shamelessly, my car is still showing the time from the fall.
Oh, okay.
I never did change
it.
So
it's right. It'll be
so
right
it's
soon.
right. Yeah, going to be right on Sunday. The sun is just setting now across the province. I should say that one of the things that I do want to make sure I remind everybody about is to check the batteries in your smoke detectors.
Good idea. Yeah, good reminder.
Twice a year when we change the clocks, check those batteries, folks. Make sure your smoke detectors are working fine. There's the sun right now setting in the Fundy Discovery site there just outside of Truro. Beautiful evening. I'm guessing right now that snow that's there right now is not going to be there if we feature that camera in a couple of days. So let's look at those sunrise and sunset times. As of Sunday, this is when we'll set 7:11 p.m. Rising at 7:39. So yeah, we're taking a step forward in the mornings as well. So a later sunrise. But look how quickly we recover through April into May. And of course, we're all working our way toward June and the summer solstice. And yes, that sun angle just 41 degrees above the horizon now. By June, it'll be 69 to 70 degrees above the horizon. Okay, so yes, with that said, let's have a look at the forecast temperatures out there right now. Around the freezing mark in the Tri-County area, temperatures will be mildest here tonight in the southwest, as you'll see. The winds light in from the east to southeast today. That is going to be the case as we move into tomorrow as well. As we back things out, there's the frontal boundary, which is surging warm air up into the Great Lakes. How warm? Well, it's 16 in Chicago, 1 in Toronto right now, but temperatures are going to bump there. 26 in St. Louis as this warmer air pushes all the way up into the eastern parts of Canada. Milder air even pushing up into Calgary and Edmonton right now. Tonight, temperatures, as I said, will be mildest in the southwest, around -2 to -5 here, -7 to -10, 11 and 12, even 13. The further east you go, but those temperatures will be ticking up into the early morning hours tomorrow. So I think our overnight lows, for the most part, are going to be early overnight. As you can see here, there's -2, -5, minus double digits and teens in through the northeast. It's here, especially in the southwest, will bump up by tomorrow morning, but bumping up even a few degrees possible in central areas, and then that temperature will continue to rise throughout the day. Note that sunshine early on, Cape Breton, earlier even still for you folks in the eastern mainland, but the clouds will build in there throughout the morning. Building in for you folks in Cape Breton. Some shower chances into the afternoon. What this model is not showing in the southwest wind is the potential for some onshore drizzle developing in those southerly winds for tomorrow. Temperatures 4, 5, even 6 and 7 degrees in those downsloping winds for the Cape Breton Highlands and down into Inverness County. Will be 4, 5, 6, and 7 degrees for eastern parts of the mainland tomorrow. Again, sunshine early, Tatamagouche, New Glasgow, that fades away. Clouds from the get-go with some drizzle chances in Halifax and then the shower chances into the later afternoon. And fog patches are going to develop as well. We've got milder air coming in over top of the snowpack. That is going to create some fog patches. And so especially for Saturday night, if you're going to be traveling around or early Sunday morning when it's dark, be mindful those fog patches will reduce visibility. Sunday, the best chance for showers is going to be in the morning, lingering into the afternoon, especially for Cape Breton, but it looks like we might dry out a little bit in the afternoon for western areas. Temperatures 8 to 12 degrees. That front sails through, and then we are looking at the clear out Monday. And I will say this, Monday into Tuesday, really looking like a nice taste of spring. Temperatures, I think on Monday will range between around 8 and 12. Tuesday looks like we'll range between around 11 and 13, maybe 14 degrees, warmest spots likely in the valley. An icy mess possible Wednesday, but let's forget about that. We'll focus on the mild temperatures of the week.
I can't see it.
That's right.
No.
That's right.
Okay.
We'll keep you posted.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
The residents of Wedgwood Manor in Summerside PEI are benefiting from weekly visits with students. The long-term care facility has a partnership with Three Oaks Senior High School, and both the seniors and the youth are having fun. Our colleagues at CBC PEI went to check it out.
Well, I decided to start this program last semester with Three Oaks. There's so many residents who don't have families, who don't have people visiting them, and who could really benefit from a one-on-one visit every single week from a student.
Today I played cards and I was really bonding with those ladies. We were talking about how hot it was and one of them started fanning me off and I started fanning them off, so it was very like a bonding moment, and it was good to see them happy and it made me happy seeing them happy. So yeah, it's a fun time.
I think there's a big gap between youth and seniors, and I wanted to really start an intergenerational program and a compassionate visiting program.
We were playing sevens, and we were also playing crazy eights. And it's a wonderful game, and the students are so terrific to teach an old fellow like me. It was a great day.
Myself, I only have one grandparent left, so this is like the most senior interaction I've ever had, and it's great.
6 times 10.
It's my favorite part of my day actually in school, so it's really something I look forward to. If you don't have that many senior interactions, it's something to really try something new.
There were some people that just stuck with one resident, but for me, I kind of got to mingle with all of the residents, and every day was kind of like talking to someone new. So it was just awesome to get to hear some of their life experiences and just get to learn about other people.
They develop these beautiful relationships, and it's just been so great to see them, come together and learn from each other and enjoy each other's company.
I love it here. I'm really hoping to do something like this in the future, and this has really helped me to kind of get an idea of what it might be like to work in an area like this, and so far I'm really enjoying it. So
I'd love to see it province-wide. I think everyone could benefit, every home could benefit from something like this. So.
Oh, we got 2 bingo.
Coming up, meet Emma Archibald, the only Nova Scotian on Team Canada at the Paralympic Winter Games. The 2026 Milano Cortina Paralympic Games are now underway, and Fall River native Emma Archibald is the only Nova Scotian on the Canadian team. She joins us now from Italy. So what does it feel like actually being over there now?
Oh, I mean, it's incredible. Like, I know since the villages are a bit separate compared to other games, I was expecting it a little bit to feel like a world champs or a World Cup, but I think it's just been such a surreal and different experience. And it's definitely like the Paralympics is just a whole other ball game. So yeah, it's pretty cool being here in the village now. And then even the venue is just very, it's set up very nicely and cool. So I think, yeah, I'm so excited to compete on that race.
Yeah, well, your first event is Tuesday. How ready do you feel?
You know what? I think it's a very challenging course, and day by day, I think we lose a bit more snow. But the Italian organizers have been doing an amazing job at putting some salt on them to just harden up the course and the snow. And you know, the past couple days, I've just been trying to keep it easy, not too heavy, and just do some race prep in that sense, just around the course. So I'm feeling pretty good, very good. There's a couple of tumbles from our own team, other teams. So it is, again, a tricky course, but I think that just goes to show that anything can happen, and hopefully it works in our favor. So I think we're all ready to bring a positive attitude and the Nova Scotia attitude into this race, and just give it our all.
Well, I understand you came to cross-country skiing a little bit later in life. When did you realize that it was your passion?
Yeah, I mean, I think just starting off in Nova Scotia and being around such a supportive group of people, I think that really is what made me stick with it and learn to love this sport. And then I think just, again, moving to Ottawa, going to school there with more of my Nova Scotia teammates, I think just once I, got to know the sport a bit better, I was just able to really start to enjoy the racing part of the sport over in Ottawa, and then being able to come back in my second year university and compete for Nova Scotia at the Canada Winter Games with all my Nova Scotia people. I think that was just an amazing experience to be able to kind of show them even how far I've come, even just from starting off in the province and then coming back and just being able to represent was a really awesome. Yeah.
When did you realize, boy, I'm really good at this?
You know what? I think I've just had my head down and been so focused on getting better and better each day that I think it was even a shock making it to these games because I've just been so focused on my process. But I think even during the official reveal, I think that's when it really hit that, wow, okay, this is getting real. I'm getting kind of good at this thing. So, yeah, I think that's even making the World Cups too was a big moment for me. So, but this is definitely a whole different ballgame.
Now, the rules allow you to ski without poles. How does that help make it accessible to you?
Yeah, so I was born with amniotic band syndrome, so I was born missing some of my fingers and toes. So in the sense of not needing to use poles, I think that just kind of takes away the challenge of trying to gripping the poles. And so I think it just allows me to kind of free skate and just kind of be free, I guess, in the skiing without having to do any adaptations. So I think it's been pretty cool that I've been able to learn this sport right off the bat in the Paranordic context, because I've just learned to love it. Yeah, as I know it is, and that's without poles.
Well, how does it feel to be the lone Nova Scotian on the team?
I think I'm very, very proud to represent Nova Scotia, and I think even the last games, the Paralympic Games, I saw that there wasn't anyone representing Nova Scotia, and even we had, of course, Mark from PEI, but I thought the Maritimes numbers were a bit low, so I think I was super, super excited to finally put another number on the map for the Maritimes and Nova Scotia as a whole. So, yeah, I'm just very, very proud of us.
And I understand you're going to have a bit of a cheering squad there.
Yeah, my family leaves tomorrow, so my 2 parents and 2 sisters. So I'm super, super excited to see them at the end of each race, and maybe on some off days too, and at the end of the game. So I'm so, so excited for them to be in the stands and watching and cheering.
Well, we'll be cheering for you too. Best of luck, and thanks so much for your time.
Yes, thank you so much.
And if you want to cheer on Team Canada during tomorrow's para hockey game against Slovakia, you can join CBC at the Halifax Central Library for a watch party. The event is free, accessible, and open to everyone. There will be snacks, a photo booth, games, prizes, and a meet and greet with Paralympian Paul Tingley. Doors open at 2 p.m. Atlantic time. The puck drop is just after 3:30. Coming up, war continues to rage in the Middle East 6 days after the U.S. and Israel launched their assault on Iran. And Prime Minister Mark Carney signs an agreement with his Japanese counterpart to expand trade and defense ties. Welcome back. Israel's military says it launched a new wave of strikes on Tehran Friday as the U.S.-Israel operation against Iran continues. Dozens of Israeli fighter planes struck a command bunker in the Iranian capital. This as Israel continues to attack Hezbollah targets in southern Lebanon. Crystal Gamansing reports.
Israeli officials say aggressive air campaigns targeting weapons storage facilities and launch areas in Iran and Lebanon have greatly reduced the number of incoming attacks. American officials say since Saturday, Iranian strikes on Israel have dropped by 90%. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to complete all missions, saying when it comes to offense, 3 things are required: determination, initiative, and cunning. Israel Defense Forces continue to attack Iran for the 7th day. One of the biggest operations involved 50 fighter jets striking the underground compound of the Ayatollah, which the IDF said was still being used by senior members of the regime. Iran has imposed a near total information blackout, so getting a clear understanding of the situation on the ground is challenging. Reports from Iranian officials say more than 1,000 people have been killed in airstrikes. Lebanon, meanwhile, continues to be rocked by airstrikes. The IDF said more than 500 targets were hit in 26 attack waves since Monday. Explosions were captured around the capital again today. Israel said one of the strikes in the Dahia district was on a Hezbollah compound.
The world urgently needs to see steps to contain and extinguish this blaze. But instead, we are only seeing more inflammatory, bellicose rhetoric, more bombings, more destruction, killings and escalation that fuels it further.
8 Israeli soldiers were injured today operating on the ground between Israel and Lebanon. Israeli officials say it happened when Hezbollah launched a strike towards Israeli territory. Now, we know that 5 of those soldiers were seriously wounded. One of the 8 was, in fact, the son of far-right Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich. We do not know the extent of his injuries. Israeli officials say they will continue to strike Hezbollah with intensity. Crystal Gamansing, CBC News, Jerusalem.
British police say they've arrested 4 men as part of a counterterrorism investigation. They're suspected of helping Iran spy on locations and people linked to Jewish communities in the London area. Anna Cunningham reports.
London's Metropolitan Police say this was a pre-planned counter-terrorism operation. In the early hours of Friday, they say 4 men were arrested under the National Security Act. They were detained on suspicion of helping a foreign intelligence service. Police say 1 man is an Iranian national and the other 3 are dual British Iranians. 6 other men were also detained. They were held on suspicion of assisting an offender. The British Deputy Prime Minister is David Lammy. He was speaking to British media at the time that the news broke, and he was asked about these arrests. He said this: Iran is the biggest state sponsor of terrorism globally, and sadly, that is in effect in our own society as well. On Monday, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer gave a statement on Iran in Parliament, highlighting the threat to the UK from Iran.
The regime's tentacles have even reached these shores, posing a direct threat to Iranian dissidents and to the Jewish community. Over the last year alone, Iran has backed more than 20 potentially lethal attacks on UK soil, each of which, Mr. Speaker, we have foiled.
Starmer confirming there earlier this week the number of potential attacks believed to come from Iran that British police say they've already stopped in the UK. There are now property searches both in and outside London continuing, linked to those arrested overnight. British police are urging the Jewish community here in London to remain vigilant as security measures increase at schools, synagogues and more visible policing within communities. Anna Cunningham, CBC News, London.
Mark Carney's drive to forge new economic alliances internationally has produced yet another pact, this one with Japan. Catherine Cullen reports.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is trying to bring Canada closer to Japan. This is the final stop on a 3-country tour of the Indo-Pacific. Carney met with the new Japanese Prime Minister, Takaichi Sanai, where Carney tried to show off a bit of Japanese from his time living here in the 90s.
I'm not finished yet. Sorry, Daichin, to aitse, orishiku, omoimasu, nika kanke. Ga masumasu choko naru kyoto o nagatte imasu. That's
Carney is the first world leader to visit her since her landslide election victory. Behind closed doors, the two leaders talked about trade as well as the Iran conflict. Then the two announced a series of agreements, what the Canadian government is calling a comprehensive strategic partnership, meant to bring about more cooperation on areas that include critical minerals, defense, and technology. Specifically, there's a commitment to do more joint military exercises. Japan may join Canada's annual exercise in the Arctic. Canada will also launch a Team Canada trade mission to Japan, and the two countries will work together on AI. Carney wrapped up this international trip with a series of meetings with Japanese business leaders. Car manufacturers are expected to be a big part of those conversations. 70% of the cars made in Canada are made by Japanese companies, and Donald Trump's trade practices are creating anxiety. Catherine Cullen, CBC News, Tokyo.
For decades, Paralympians have reached the podium with help from advances in prosthetics. New, sophisticated models are available for many people living with disabilities, but the high cost can put them out of reach for some. Jennifer LaGrassa explains.
This is what gave Tyler Turner his life back and brought him to this moment at the 2022 Beijing Paralympics.
He grabs the gold!
That's thanks in large part to his prosthetics. Turner became a double leg amputee about 7 years ago after a skydiving accident. His love of sports kept him moving forward.
Really what it comes down to is find joy again, to smile.
And that wouldn't be possible without his prosthetics.
You can't tell I'm walking in prosthetics. When I'm snowboarding, you can't tell I'm snowboarding in prosthetics because the feet are that advanced.
Lightweight, energy-storing materials and limbs tailored to a person's body that increase stability and control are some key advancements.
The knee and foot that Terry Fox is using, what we have now is just night and day different.
It's those improvements that Sam Paulus is thankful for. The 59-year-old had his left leg amputated after a severe bacterial infection in 2011.
I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to walk again, get out of bed again.
But these days, he's doing a lot more than that, spending nearly every weekend in the winter skiing, using a special prosthetic.
It's got a pneumatic shock in it that's really taken from a mountain bike, and you're compressing the air in the shock, and that gives you rebound, and it's letting you really ski like you've got a normal leg.
It cost about $12,000. Across Canada, prosthetic coverage varies. In most cases, funding isn't available for sporting limbs, which means newer models are out of reach for many. But this Toronto rehab hospital is looking at ways to improve access with new technology that could lower costs.
Using things like 3D scanning, 3D designing, and 3D printing to make the devices, higher performing, stronger, lighter.
And test the limits of what's possible at future Paralympic Games. Jennifer LaGrassa, CBC News, Windsor, Ontario.
An Ontario man trusted ticket reseller StubHub to list thousands of dollars in tickets, but instead of getting paid, the tickets and his money disappeared. He took his story to Rosa Marcatelli and Go Public, who uncovered troubling questions about ticket transfer rules and consumer protection.
Here come the lights.
Longtime Formula One fan Paul Mann bought 9 three-day passes to last year's Grand Prix in Montreal. But when his wife broke her leg skiing and his group trip fell apart, he listed 7 of them on StubHub, expecting a smooth sail.
It seemed like the best choice and honestly the safest choice.
He followed StubHub's instructions and uploaded the digital tickets. They sold, then just disappeared off the site. The company called it a glitch and promised a fix. It never came. Instead, Mann was out more than $6,000 in lost sales. And making matters worse, StubHub piled on another $3,200 in penalties. StubHub later blamed Grand Prix race organizers, saying their tickets are not transferable, and that's what caused Mann's problems.
It's really surprising to me that something that should be simple and that StubHub claims is a very simple and safe process has turned out to be unreliable.
Go Public asked an expert on digital platforms to review StubHub's user agreement.
Basically, they absolve themselves of any responsibility for anything. The text is quite amazing.
Despite all of this, StubHub continues to sell non-transferable tickets, saying the restrictions are unfair to consumers. Grand Prix de Canada organizers disagree, though. They say the reseller isn't authorized to do that and warn some tickets might be canceled. Bottom line here, buyer and sellers, beware. After Go Public contacted StubHub, it gave Paul Mann his money. Rosa Marcatelli, CBC News, Calgary.
Junior high school students at a school near Montreal are taking part in an after-school club to learn the basics of cooking. The aim is to build skills and independence. Have a look.
I decided to join a cooking club because it was a good community and I love to cook. At home I cook a lot.
It's like I kind of wanted to do something after school, and my parents were also cooking a lot, and they were also really busy, so I kind of wanted to help them by learning how to cook.
Now you're going to put the icing. We've done cooking, which was more something that was important to me, and now we've gone into baking. So we divide the year up into 2 different categories, and teaching the kids skills that sometimes they don't have time to do at home or not necessarily have someone to help them. And I think it basically makes them a little more comfortable.
How about we use the knife here? It makes me a little more confident to cook at home as well, because I didn't really cook before this. I feel way more confident in cooking. And I cook a lot by myself, so I can make dinner and stuff.
I'm assuming that must be a huge help for your parents.
Yeah.
What do they say whenever you cook a meal at home?
They really appreciate it because I have a big family, 7 kids.
That looks amazing. And it's not something that you would learn in a classroom, and I think it builds confidence, and the confidence, I think, transpires into academics eventually.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
And we are back, and big change this weekend. Clocks spring ahead. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. You know, I do like the longer evenings
Yeah.
in the summer. We work a later shift than most folks, so I do like the brighter in the evening. I don't like jumping back and forth. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I think we should spring forward half an
Leave
hour
it there.
and then stay there.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
But-
one more time, like BC.
That's right. Yeah. But I don't know if they're listening to me. Probably not. Have a look at our viewer picture of the day. As we look at this one, we're going to zoom in on Cape Breton, Irish Vale, and the beautiful
Nice.
sunset shot from Terry.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, really, really nice.
How long's that snow going to be there?
Not that
Terry's
long.
photo?
Yeah, I think by the time we get to mid next week, there won't be much there in that picture in Irish Vale. As we look at the forecast, note the clouds kind of building in through tonight. Tomorrow morning, temperatures bumping up into the early morning hours of tomorrow, and then continuing to rise throughout the day. Note tomorrow morning, still some sunshine, Cape Breton, eastern parts of the mainland. That cloud will then build in throughout the late morning into the afternoon there. Chance for showers into the afternoon, especially in the northeast. We will see a chance for drizzle earlier on in the day. Fog patches developing. Temperatures will be warmer on Sunday, 8 to 12 degrees. There's a better chance for showers on Sunday. Monday, Tuesday looking really, really nice.
Well, for sure. All right, well, finally tonight, we leave you with the moment Billy Collette, the park manager at the Australian Reptile Park, dove into a creek and caught a freshwater crocodile.
Billy and the two other park employees searched for 48 hours to find a reptile, which was more than 2,000 kilometers from where crocodiles are usually found in Australia.
He's got him! Right behind us, this little fella was right there against the mangroves. I was on the nose of the boat. I knew I had one shot here, so I just sent it off the front of the boat, landed perfect, caught him, come up like I just won the grand final. You know, like I couldn't believe it. I was speechless. It was like 48 hours, like trying to find a needle in a haystack. I couldn't sleep. I was really worried about his welfare. We're about 2,000 kilometres south of where you should naturally find crocodiles in Australia, as a crocodile like this would not survive down here in winter. This is definitely the hardest rescue I've been involved in. It's not something we do a lot, jumping crocodiles off the front of boat. There was no room for hesitation. I just launched as far as I could. We put her into a transport box, brought her back to the park here, the Australian Reptile Park. Very happy with her health and condition. I just love crocs. And the sheer relief when we found him and then let alone caught him, mate, far out.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been jumping in. No, thank you. All right, that is it for us tonight. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great weekend.